This is my first like U.S. radio interview.
Is that right? Ever?
At a station, yeah.
Wow.
I did one in the UK.
I have a feeling that, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but
No.
I have a feeling that I'm going to look back on this moment one day and say, yeah, that's right, I had Kevin Garrett.
I hope so. Cool.
I mean, you got some big things happening for you right now, man. You're like the big artist in town right now, like, you know, one of the hottest producers and musicians. I was going to say, I'm sure you hear this all the time in interviews, but I guess this is your first one, so we're going in fresh. But, you know, obviously, like, you know, Sam Smith and Katy Perry, Beyonce have all said they're huge fans of your work.
Yeah.
How did all this happen?
I don't know. It was pretty quick, I guess. I put one song out, I put Coloring out, and got people said some really nice things about me on the internet, and then started connecting with them kind of one by one, and the Beyonce thing was just it was like next level. If you told me a few years ago that I would have I'd have a nomination for album of the year and it'd be a Beyonce album, that'd be something I would slap you in the face.
But it's happening. It's happening, man. It's crazy. And Coloring, that came out like, 2015? It wasn't that long ago either. So, man, you were just like in your bedroom making some music one day, and the next thing you know, you're producing a Beyonce record, man. How did that come to be? So you release Coloring online.
Right.
You're getting some good traction, some good response, and all of a sudden you hear Beyonce is a fan of you. Like, tell me how that went down.
It was it was just like a right place, right time kind of thing. I just connected with my publisher, and there were some kind of, you know, backroom conversations, I guess, not backroom, but like behind the scenes conversations. They kind of, I caught wind of the fact that she was a fan, and we were kind of in a similar headspace, I guess, with what she was trying to channel. So it's just a crazy, surreal experience. I'm never gonna get my head around it, but yeah.
So here in Minneapolis, the home of Prince.
Yep.
Right? And lots of urban legends and real stories. I'm not really sure, but a lot of times when I hear musicians and artists talking about collaborating with Prince, a lot of times they would go to Paisley Park and lay some tracks down and leave and wouldn't even see him.
Right.
Beyonce at this point, she's like superseded being a human being. She's like an idol. She's like a goddess. I mean, it's something else. So were you able to have some one-on-one time with her? And what was that experience like?
I remember the first time I met her, it was at a holiday party. And I don't tell this story too often because it's like so embarrassing. But I was at a holiday party. It was one of those indoor-outdoor bars. And my one of my, reps, I guess, on my team was like, I want to introduce you to someone. And I thought it was going to be like a label A&R or something like that.
Little schmoozing kind of situations,
that kind of vibe, like industry party. And we walk over and it's Beyonce, and he's like, this is the guy who wrote that song you're going to cut. And she goes, oh, Kevin. And then I died several times. Yeah.
Pinching yourself.
Yeah, man.
That whole thing.
Yeah. And she shook my hand and said, so nice to meet you. Love the song, and you're so talented. And I was looking at her like, what do I say that she hasn't heard yet? And so naturally I decided to go with you as well. Right. Yeah.
We're one and the same. I'm an artist. You're an artist. We're in the same world. Sure. Yeah.
A really bright future ahead of you. Yeah. And I cried afterwards, but she was super down to earth about it, and yeah, the other couple of times I met her, she's been just really easy to talk to. It's kind of refreshing to see, her and Sam and Katy kind of people up that far, and with that much going on, to still be just honest music fans is kind of refreshing. So.
Man, that is so cool. You co-produced a record on Lemonade.
I did.
Up for Album of the Year as we record this. The Grammys are, I think, like a week or two away. Mm-hmm. So are you going to make it down to LA and attend?
I'll be in LA. I'm not sure if I'm going yet, just because the tour is kind of keeping me running around everywhere. But it was definitely a cool moment to hear that she got nominated for Album of the Year. I think we kind of semi-expected it, but you never know with the Grammys. So we'll see what happens. I think it's a pretty stacked list of nominees. So
I'll tell you what, though, man. I'm not trying to get your hopes up or anything, but I went to the Grammy Awards a couple years ago when Beck won Album of the Year.
Right.
And that was when Kanye got all mad and went on the stage and confused things. So I think Beyonce's due for one. So you might have some hardware in your or do you have an apartment? Do you have a house now? Like, what's your? I know you're in Brooklyn, right?
Well, I'm kind of back and forth. I'm originally from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So I'm kind of back and forth between there and Brooklyn. When I'm not touring, I spend more time in New York, but I moved out kind of around some tour dates just to escape the rent. But I guess I would put it in the Toyota Highlander that I tour in.
Okay.
I had kind of a nice dash ornament.
Yeah.
Or I'll just put it in my bedroom where I make everything. So, yeah.
It was interesting. When I came out and got you in the lobby, you were by yourself. Usually when I pick up an artist, they have a label person or a manager or something. And, here you are making records with Beyonce and having Sam Smith and Katy Perry talking about you. Sold out show tonight at the Entry as we record this. You seem like a real down to earth dude. You're touring by yourself in this car, I imagine. I mean, what's the touring situation for you? Are you by yourself on stage? Do you have a band with you?
So this is the first time I brought bands with me in the past, but it's only ever been 3 of us in a car. This is the first time we've upgraded to a Sprinter van. So
okay,
very very luxurious. But it's been a cool experience. We're a few days into the tour, and I've only been to the Twin Cities, a handful of times, so I wasn't expecting it to sell out. And then I heard last night that it did, so or today that it did. So it was that was really cool. But I've always kind of been very independent. Not having a label, it's a different kind of hustle, I think. And it's cool to be able to come to places like Go 96 and do this kind of stuff. So
yeah, man, it's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
You tweeted the other day, that you don't, no label, no album. Yeah. The EP is False Hope, which came out today, and you're selling out these shows and you're playing these concerts. You mentioned that you're a couple shows in already.
Yeah.
What's the feeling been like for you, knowing that you're kind of doing this relatively by yourself and your fan base is growing? How have the shows been, and just how does that feel?
It's it feels kind of validating, I guess. When I first started, my booking agent kind of told me to sort of keep my eyes open and trust the process, so to speak.
Right. Very Joel Embiid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You a basketball fan?
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk basketball too in a minute. Yeah.
Oh man. Funny story about that afterwards, but anyway, he basically just said, keep doing the same thing, and I like. From a writing perspective, I'm just being as honest as I can, and same way with performance. I'm just there to hit the right notes, hopefully, and connect with everyone. And the fact that it's been able to grow without that sort of end of that support system is just hopefully kind of eye opening for everyone. And if and when the time is right to partner with somebody, then I think I'm in a really good position to kind of scale this one up pretty quick. So
the email that I got regarding you coming to the Twin Cities and asking if I wanted to interview you came from somebody from Rock Nation. Is there some connection with Rock Nation that you have right now? And
yeah, so they publish me and they also manage me. So
okay,
I've been working with them for a couple years, and just they've kind of helped facilitate a lot of stuff to help me grow and develop, and I think on the touring end it's been just a really cool push from UTA and formerly Agency Group. So
it's just inspiring. It's inspiring to see that you make a record a year and a half ago, put it on the internet. One thing leads to another. And I tell bands this all the time. In the Twin Cities, there's a great music scene here. Lots of quality bands and artists. How do I make it? How do I get on the radio? How do I do this? And I tell them all the time, just make good work. Have good art, play good shows. Eventually, if it's good enough, someone that matters, someone that's important is going to find it and see that. And for it to happen with you so fast it's incredible, man.
Thank you. I think it's cool to kind of go back to the thing you said about all these people kind of hitting me up about whatever. That just is the same thing, I think we all are magnetized to good stuff, like
Yeah.
good music and high quality and hopefully I'm doing something that's resonating with people in that regard and if not, just keep working harder towards that. But yeah, honesty is the main jam.
Something that I think does resonate with people with your music, and not to get into my own stuff right now,
go
but
for
I certainly relate to this whole idea of kind of being out of in love and maybe like post-relationship kind of records. That's the vibe I kind of get from your music right now, and maybe that's sort of what gravitated you. I mean, look, if Beyonce wants to work with you, you work with Beyonce, but the Lemonade album had a very sort of similar, maybe a little more aggressive tone to it. But yeah, this whole idea of, I don't know if it's heartbreak, I don't know if it's just sort of finding yourself after a relationship or what it is, but is that all fair to say? And how would you sort of describe the tone and the theme of your music?
I like to tap into sort of a specific set of experiences that happened to me in the past and kind of looking at them from 360 degrees.
Yeah.
And more often than not, I end up kind of flipping perspectives. And I really like sort of writing as if I'm looking myself in the mirror and kind of asking how we got here. And I think that kind of personal reflection is something that we're all really interested in, whether we know it or not. And it's hard to articulate sometimes, and when you kind of nail it down, I think it relates to a lot of people. So
let's talk basketball for a second, real quick. I have an idea. I have a guess as to where this basketball thing might be leading.
Yep.
Your name is very similar to a famous Minnesota Timberwolves player by the name of Kevin Garnett.
Yep.
Anytime I Google your name, he comes up first. I got to make sure I spell it right. Is this in relation to your basketball story by chance?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So my first show ever was in Dinkytown at Loring Pasta Bar.
Yeah.
And it was the day that he got traded back to the Wolves.
Oh, wow.
So I go into the show and I'm like, hey guys, I'm back. I look a little bit different, right? I'm a lot shorter. And
you wear a jersey?
No, I never had a Garnett jersey growing up. It was the dumbest decision of my life. I actually tried to be a Sixers fan because I'm from Pittsburgh and has Allen Iverson and stuff, and that didn't work. And then everybody liked Kobe. But anyway, the next thing you know, Sports Illustrated, Facebook or Twitter or whatever is tagging me in social media posts because Kevin Garnett didn't have Twitter for the longest time.
He doesn't have Twitter, okay.
Yeah, so I'm the next verified thing, I guess. So I got a lot of great press from Sports Illustrated for a while.
Some new followers, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, they all like followed me, and then they're like, man, and then they unfollowed me.
Wait, hold on. Really? I mean, I have your Twitter up. Hold on. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't look like Kevin Garnett.
No.
Yeah. The avatars are much different. Yeah, totally.
My slogan at the top for the longest time was "Still not in the NBA," and it didn't really. No one got it, but. Yeah.
You ever hear from Kevin Garnett? I mean, he was here for a while, and
I was talking to you about the Ex Ambassador show last time I was here. The night before, we went to a Timberwolves game, and because Skylar Gray and Ex Ambassadors were performing halftime show or something.
That's right. I was there. I remember that.
It was against the Heat. I was dying to meet Kevin Garnett. It was something I was trying to do. I went online. I was like, guys, how do we make this happen? I feel like we could break the internet. Let's
100%.
do it. I ended up just meeting Juwan Howard, which was cool because he just somehow finds a way to keep winning championships, especially when LeBron was on the Heat. But
wait, did he though? I mean, they won their first title. So he won his first title on the Heat.
Yeah.
As like the 12th man.
Exactly, yeah.
And then I think he was like an assistant coach the next year. Okay, that's what it was.
So it's just like rings for Juwan.
Right.
But no, I didn't get to meet him. But I saw him and Wiggins and you know, it was the closest I've ever gotten to the real KG. But
will you be in LA anytime soon?
I will. I'll be there. Well, we have a show at the Troubadour on the 16th of February, so I'll be there around the Grammys. But
I'm just saying, you know, Kevin Garnett, I know he's a consultant now for the LA Clippers. So
okay.
maybe he'll be in town. Maybe we can invite him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Rock Nation,
Let's
you know what I
figure it
mean?
out.
Like maybe, we'll get the email to him, that would be cool.
I've always just wanted that picture. That's the only thing I've really ever. That's why I do this.
Right.
It's
I mean,
get
think
the
of all the
picture of Kevin
retweets you'll
Garnett.
get.
Yeah, exactly.
All the likes, Facebook. I mean, come on, man. You might break the internet with your fans in that record.
I'm trying. But, yeah, basketball.
So there's no team in Pittsburgh. Are you a Nets fan?
No. Well, I guess I kind of have to be if I say I'm from Brooklyn, but I'm kind of just a basketball fan.
Right.
I wasn't ever really a Cavs fan when LeBron started and when he left and came back. It was just it's cool to watch him sometimes, but he's so polarizing. I kind of go team by team every year. So last year I really liked the Spurs. Just because it's pretty basketball.
Totally.
This year, I kind of am looking at the Sixers because they're winning games. But I also like the Jazz. They're like 30-19 or something. So, but it is what it is. If a game's on, I'll watch it, and I kind of just like studying what. I really like off-season sports. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Oh, sure, I get it. Yeah,
what they're doing behind the scenes. So that's kind of fun.
Free agency, who's going where, and Kevin
Especially,
Garnett last year on the offseason, seeing what he was going to do. Yeah,
and then when the Players Tribune thing goes up, what they're going to say, it's kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know. I just like sports in general.
You're not going to be here tomorrow, are you?
No, we have to go to Omaha.
Omaha.
Yeah.
Slow dive.
Omaha. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have my grandparents are from there, so I'm very familiar with Omaha. Great food.
Yes.
If you like carbs, if you like,
Love
taking
carbs.
in like some unhealthy food, man, Omaha is fantastic. And that's no diss. Like I went there for the holidays and I felt really good. You just got to go to the gym a lot for a couple weeks
It's like
afterwards.
driving through Nebraska. That's the beacon of hope. That's like the green light in The Great Gatsby is Omaha, Nebraska. And something good is cooking there. When I had one show there before and we went to a restaurant across the street and I had probably the most amazing burger of my life. So
they got good people in Omaha, for sure. Yeah, it's like a sneaky, cool little town in the middle of the country.
Sneaky is a good word.
So yeah, I like that. You can use that. You can have that.
Thank you.
You can have that. You're making records with Beyonce. I have a Woody thing every.
Sneaky Omaha. Yeah.
Let's close on this, man. Let's talk about the False Hope EP, which came out today. We're gonna play a record called "Pulling Me Under."
Cool.
I asked you which song you'd like me to play before we started recording. What is it about this record that speaks to you the most and makes you want potential new fans to hear it?
I think this one, this whole EP was something that I kind of built out of my bedroom again. And this one, I had a couple producers on the EP kind of work with me remotely, mostly from the UK. But this one I really did kind of entirely on my own. And I think it's the goal for the new music was to kind of make myself more accessible and still kind of retain that sort of alt R&B vibe. So I think this one is definitely in the right direction, and I'm really proud of it.
The EP
Yeah, we're
is
not
called
at the album yet.
False Hope. It's Kevin Garrett, not Kevin Garnett,
Thank you.
but still very talented in his own right. Sold out show tonight as we record this at the Entry. I'm sure you'll be doing like the main room one day,
Hope so.
maybe Target Center one day. I see big things happening with you, man.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget about us.
Oh, not at all. Thank you.
Kevin Garrett, it's Go 96.3. Oh, and Miles the DJ, by the way. I never said that. That's okay.